Okay, so when you're building your career portfolio, which is what you take into employers for them to review and decide if you are qualified for the job and if they'd like to hire you for the job, there are a few really important things that you need. First is a cover letter. Second is a resume. Third would be a transcript or any other body of work that you need to show your employer. And in Classroom, I'm going to be posting a couple of examples of a resume, but we're going to be building just the most simple resume you possibly can. You will be using this resume, I'm sure, in the future. I've had lots of students come back and say that they use these for jobs, use them for scholarships. They utilize them quite well. So we're just going to go over what a simple one-page job resume looks like. So again, this is a job resume. This is not a leadership resume. Leadership resumes are usually longer, and they usually have a lot more information. A job resume we like to keep to just one page. So if we're just looking at this resume aesthetically, the first thing I want you to notice is that it fills the entire page. So we want it to fill a whole page, regardless of how much you really have to add to it. So if you don't have that much to add, then we want to creatively add spacing or make your words a little bit bigger so that it fills up an entire page. And if you have too much to add, then we want to edit thoughtfully to make sure that it is not more than one page. So you're going to want to split screen this, and you're going to want to pause and play so that you can build a resume at the exact same time as I am explaining it. I would definitely do it as you go rather than watch the entire video and then try from scratch. So let's start at the top. You do not have to format it exactly like me, but I do like this formatting. It looks clean. It's black and white, so you don't have to worry about printing it in color ever. And it gives you a really good framework for building a more creative resume later. And some of those creative examples will be posted in Classroom, just so you can see them. So we're starting at the very top. This is centered in the middle of the page. I choose for the first line for it all to be uppercase, so it really stands out, and then the rest is lowercase. And my headings are also uppercase. So we're going to start with the very first line, which is your name. We want this to be your full name, so if you go by nickname, then we want to put our nicknames in parentheses, or not in parentheses, but in quotation marks, so people know that that's what we go by, but our real legal name is right there. So we have our name at the top. The next thing we have is our address. So we want to make sure that everything is spelled out. So I have County Road spelled out. I don't just have CR. If you have a P.O. box, you can add this too, but just your physical address is fine. Then on the next line, we're going to have, still centered, we're going to have our phone number. Okay, and below that, our email address. This can indeed be your school email if you check it most often. So I would definitely choose the email address that you have on your phone, because if an employer tries to get a hold of you through email and you don't check your email, that could look very, very unprofessional. Okay, so this is just your information section. We want it at the very top so that they remember who we are. Okay, the next section that we're going to work on is the professional experience section. So we're looking right here. Okay, so I have it underlined. You don't have to do that, but I really like the way that it spreads it out and it separates each section that we're looking at. So for professional experience, we're going to list the job, and this is the actual business that we worked for. And then this next line is the position we had. Okay. Then as we're looking over here, this is the date that we were employed, the dates that we worked at this place. If you are still working there, then we say current. Okay. And then this is the location of the job. So this spacing right here, it's really, really important that we don't space, but we rather tab, tab, tab. Okay, these are all tabs, not spaces, and that allows us to line up everything perfectly without having to worry about how many spaces it was. So make sure you tab, tab, tab. Okay, so we have our job, tab, 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 the dates that we worked there. Our next line is the position that we worked. I have that italicized. Tab, 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 tab to the location that this job was. Then these right here, these 3 bullet points are our responsibilities. Okay? Now, sometimes these are really hard to come up with. So if you want to jump on Meet and have me help you, I'd be more than happy to. But these are really things that we're looking at. What did we learn? So what was learned at the job that we had? We want to creatively phrase those so that the employer knows that those skills we had at that job would carry on to any other job we might have in the future. So my next example on here is babysitting. That is a great way to have job experience because you're supervising people, you're maintaining a schedule, you may be preparing meals. This shows responsibility. It shows that you can handle yourself in a responsible area. So again, I have that tab over the dates that we worked, the family that it was for. Volunteer positions can also be in professional experience. If you need help formatting that, just let me know. Okay, so that's our professional experience section. So feel free to pause the video if you need to look at that again. Okay, so prepare that spot, and then we're going to move on to education. So education is, of course, your high school experience, and then if you've taken any college classes. If you have taken a college class in Swink, you are technically a college student with Otero Junior College, and that's where you would want to put it, is right in this section. So we're going to put the school name, and if you only have Swink, that's totally fine. A resume is meant to be built upon. You are going to build your resume over time, constantly updating it. These are just the bones, the bare bones, okay? So we have school name here, and we have the location here. So right here is what a lot of you will be looking at, just our Swink High School in Swink, Colorado, your anticipated graduation date, and your GPA. We always want to put the most relevant on top. So if you have been enrolled in college, that is a little more valuable than high school. That's why it is found on top. Okay, this next section is especially important if you are not going to fill an entire page. You want to show that you have experiences in life. You didn't just go to school and come home every day. You rather participated in things that can be of value to a potential employer. So we have other experiences here. Again, it's underlined. We want very consistent formatting. So we want the same font size throughout, and we want to repeat formatting. So I have uppercase, 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 and then lowercase for everything else. So here we go. Back into other experiences. I have the experience name here, drama club, and then I have the details here. Details and responsibilities just like we have above. Okay, so how many years you were a member, what you did while you were a member. Here's my sport. Sports are also great. They show that you can juggle multiple things at the same time. Again, not just going to school and coming home. So those are my 3 very, very basic sections. And this is a bare bones job resume. This should be constantly updated and kept up with. So every year you should revisit your resume and update it with anything you might need, because you never know when a job opportunity or a scholarship opportunity might present itself. I know my first job from college, I had about 2 days to apply for it, so it was really nice to have a resume just in my back pocket, ready to edit really quickly so I could send it to that employer. So your task is to complete this resume, and then I want you to share it to me. And the reason why I want it shared rather than turned into Classroom is I need this to stay in your possession. So if you turn it into Classroom, it becomes mine. And I don't want that. I want it to be yours. So I'd like you to share it to me, and I'd like all resumes to be titled resume and then your name, not just name. Okay? Resume dash name. Share it to me so I can give you feedback. And then tomorrow we will start cover letters. So that was just a very bare bones example of a resume. Again, I've posted some examples in Classroom of more advanced resumes that you can just look at. But this is really what we're going for. So if you have any questions at all, if any of this didn't make any sense, please jump back on me. I will be waiting for you all hour to go ahead and help you.